Tonight, this isn't random. Something has been pressing on you, and you couldn't fully explain it, but you felt it. The tension, the weight, the sense that something is shifting. You didn't land here by accident, so stay with me, because you're not carrying this alone. Tonight, you don't have to keep holding everything together. You don't have to figure anything out, and you don't have to carry tomorrow into this moment. Because whatever is waiting for you, it's not waiting without God already being there. So for the next few minutes, you can just be here. Welcome to Grace in Your Quiet. This is your quiet place, a space where nothing is chasing you, nothing is asking more from you, and nothing needs to be solved right now. If this is the kind of space your heart has been looking for, you can subscribe just so you don't have to search for it again. Maybe today felt heavier than usual. Maybe your mind is still running through things you wish you handled differently, or jumping ahead, trying to prepare for things you don't fully understand yet. And even if you haven't said it out loud, you've been carrying it quietly. But even here, there is grace in your quiet. The night is a way of bringing everything closer. Not because more is happening, but because everything else has finally slowed down. And when it does, there's nothing left between you and what you've been holding. The thoughts feel louder, the questions feel closer, the pressure feels heavier, and part of you is tired of carrying it, but doesn't quite know how to stop. So instead of trying to push it away, just notice it, not to fix it, not to solve it, just to see it clearly. And now, take a breath, slowly. Let it move through your chest, through your shoulders, and out again. You don't have to force anything. Even a small pause like this can begin to shift something. Because this moment doesn't need to be controlled, it just needs to be held differently. You don't have to carry everything the same way you were carrying it before. Not tonight. The night wasn't made for tension. It was made for trust. Not perfect trust. Not full understanding. Just enough to let your body rest. Just enough to remind your heart that you're not alone. And maybe, just for now, that's enough. There comes a point in the day when thinking about it one more time doesn't actually help. You've already gone over it. You've replayed the conversations. You've tried to plan out what could happen next. And still, your mind keeps reaching for something it can't quite find. Because what it's really looking for is control. Something solid, something certain, something that says you're ready. But most of the time, that feeling never fully arrives. And that's where this moment starts to matter. Not because everything is solved, but because you don't have to keep carrying it the same way. There's a quiet invitation here. Commit your way to the Lord, trust Him, and He will act. That doesn't mean you suddenly understand everything. It doesn't mean you feel confident about tomorrow. It means you can place it down. You can take everything you've been holding today, the decisions, the conversations, the things that didn't go the way you hoped, and you can release them, not because they don't matter, but because they don't belong in your hands tonight. And that might feel unfamiliar, because you've learned to hold on to things tightly, to think ahead, to stay prepared, to make sure nothing slips. But that kind of holding, it slowly wears you down, not all at once, but enough that even rest starts to feel difficult. So instead of trying to figure everything out right now, what if you just set it down? Not forever, just for tonight. What if you didn't need to carry tomorrow yet? Because the truth is, you don't step into tomorrow by solving it early. You step into it when it arrives. And until then, you're allowed to rest. Because while you are here, while your body is trying to slow down, God is not inactive. He's not waiting for you to finish planning. He's not pausing until you feel ready. He is already moving, already arranging, already working in places you can't see yet, even in the part you keep going back to. And maybe you don't feel that yet. That's okay. You don't have to force it. Just let the idea sit there, gently. Because if that's true, then maybe you don't have to keep holding everything together tonight. Maybe you can loosen your grip just a little, enough to take a breath, enough to feel your shoulders drop, enough to let your body begin to follow what your mind has been trying to control. You don't have to solve it. You don't have to perfect it. You don't even have to understand it yet. You just have to stop carrying it alone. And maybe, just for this moment, that's enough. There's a reason your mind keeps going back to tomorrow. It's trying to get ahead of it, trying to solve it early, trying to remove the uncertainty before you even step into it. And at first, that feels responsible. It feels like you're preparing, like you're staying on top of things. But if you stay with it long enough, you start to notice something. It doesn't actually bring peace. It just creates more versions of what could go wrong. One thought leads to another. One scenario opens the door to 5 more. And suddenly, you're not preparing anymore. You're just stuck in it. That loop where your mind keeps scanning ahead, trying to make sure you'll be okay. But no matter how far you think, you never quite land. Because what you're trying to solve isn't meant to be solved that way. You were never meant to carry tomorrow like this. There's a reason Jesus said not to worry about tomorrow. Not because tomorrow doesn't matter, but because you don't live there yet. And when you try to carry it early, it weighs more than it should. Because now, you're carrying today and tomorrow at the same time. And your body feels it. That tightness. That low-level tension that doesn't fully go away. Even when you try to relax, something still feels unfinished. That's what happens when your mind is living ahead of you. So instead of trying to think your way out of it, what if you stepped back? Just for a moment. What if you didn't need to figure out tomorrow tonight? What if you didn't need to prepare for every possible outcome? Because the truth is, when tomorrow comes, you won't be the same version of yourself that's sitting here right now. You'll have what you need when you get there. Not all at once, not ahead of time, but in the moment. And that's how this works. You don't receive tomorrow's strength the night before. You receive it when you step into it. So trying to feel ready now will always feel incomplete because you're reaching for something that hasn't been given yet. And that's where trust begins to replace control. Not perfectly, not all at once, but enough to take the next step without needing the whole picture. Jesus didn't just say, "Don't worry." He gave a direction: seek first the kingdom of God, which means shift your focus, not toward outcomes, not toward answers, not toward answers, not toward control, but toward Him. Because when your focus changes, the pressure starts to ease. You're no longer trying to manage everything. You're allowing yourself to be guided. And that feels different. It feels quieter, less forced, less heavy. Because now, you're not carrying tomorrow alone. You're walking towards something that's already being prepared, even if you can't see it yet. And maybe tonight, you don't need to believe that fully. You don't need to force yourself into certainty. Just let the idea sit there gently. Because if tomorrow is already being held, then maybe you don't have to hold it too, and that alone can start to change how this moment feels. There's a difference between thinking about letting go and actually releasing something. Most of the time, we don't realize how tightly we're holding on, not just in our thoughts, but in our body. That quiet tension that sits in your chest, the weight in your shoulders, the way your stomach never fully relaxes. It's not random. It's what holding everything has been doing to you. And even when you try to rest, part of you is still bracing, still holding, still preparing. That's why it's hard to fully settle. Because your body is carrying what your mind won't release. And this is where something shifts, not by forcing yourself to relax, but by finally placing what you've been holding somewhere else. There's a simple invitation: cast your cares on Him, because He cares for you. Not manage them, not organize them, not carry them better. Cast them. That means you don't hold on to them while asking for help. You actually release them. And that might feel unfamiliar, because part of you still wants to keep control, still wants to stay ready, still wants to hold on just in case. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could take that one thing, the one that keeps coming back, and just place it down? Right now, not perfectly, not all at once, just enough to feel the difference. And as you do, notice your body again. What happens in your shoulders, in your chest, in your breathing? Even a small release starts to change something. Because you were never meant to carry all of this on your own. And God isn't just asking you to hand it over so He can remove it. He's offering to sustain you, to hold you steady while things are still uncertain, to support you when you don't feel fully ready, to strengthen the part of you that feels like it might give out. That's different, because it means even if the situation doesn't change right away, you won't collapse under it. You'll be held through it. And maybe that's what you need more than anything tonight. Not instant answers, not complete clarity, but the ability to stay steady without carrying everything yourself. So again, you don't have to do this perfectly. You don't have to release everything in one moment. Just take what feels heaviest and place it down. Even if it's only a small part, even if it's only 10%, that's enough. Burrows, you're not doing this alone. And as you begin to let go, even a little, your body starts to follow. The tension softens. The breath slows. The weight shifts. Not because everything is fixed, but because everything is no longer resting on you. And maybe, for the first time today, you don't have to hold it all together. There's a kind of tiredness that sleep alone doesn't fix. You can lie down, close your eyes, stay still, and still something inside you keeps moving, because it's not just your body that's tired, it's your mind, your thoughts, the part of you that's been trying to keep up, trying to stay ahead, trying to hold everything together. And that kind of tiredness doesn't go away just because the day ends. It follows you into the quiet. That's why rest can feel harder than it should, because part of you doesn't know how to stop. Not completely. And this is where the invitation becomes different. Not an instruction, not a demand, an invitation. Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. Not figure it out first. Not get yourself together. Not be ready. Just come. As you are, with the thoughts still there, with the questions still unresolved, with the tension that hasn't fully gone away yet. You don't have to clean it up. You don't have to prepare yourself for this moment. You just come. And that changes what rest actually means. It's not something you achieve. It's something you receive. Which means you don't have to try harder to rest. You don't have to force your mind to be quiet. You don't have to push your thoughts away. You don't have to get it right, because real rest doesn't come from control. It comes from letting go into something that can hold you. And maybe that's what this moment is. Not a moment to fix everything. Not a moment to solve tomorrow. But a moment to be held, to stop bracing, to stop preparing, to stop carrying. Even if it's just for a little while. Because when you allow yourself to rest like that, your body begins to understand what your mind has been resisting. You are safe enough to let go, not because everything is certain, but because you are not alone. And that's enough to begin. So you don't have to rush this. You don't have to force yourself into stillness. Just stay here. Let your breathing settle in its own time. Let your shoulders drop when they're ready. Let your thoughts slow down on their own. Because rest is already being offered to you. You're not creating it. You're stepping into it. And maybe tonight you don't have to do anything else. Just receive it. There's a quiet fear that sits underneath all of this. The fear that if you let go, things might fall apart. That if you stop holding everything together, something important might slip. And you've learned to carry that responsibility, to stay alert, to stay ahead, to make sure nothing goes wrong. Because in some way, that felt safer. But holding life like that comes with a cost. It keeps your body tense. It keeps your mind active. It keeps you in a constant state of preparing for things that haven't even happened yet. And over time, that kind of control starts to wear you down. Not loudly, not all at once, but enough that even rest starts to feel out of reach. So the question becomes, what happens if you don't hold it all together? Not forever, just for tonight. What happens if you loosen your grip just a little? There's a different way to move forward. Trust in the Lord and He will establish your steps. That doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to control. Because your steps are not being figured out only by you. They are being guided. Steadily. Quietly. Even when you don't see it. Even when you don't feel ready. And that means you don't have to force your way forward. You don't have to make everything happen. You don't have to hold the outcome in your hands. You can move one step at a time and trust that each step will meet you with what you need. Not all at once, not ahead of time, but right when you get there. And maybe tonight, that's where control begins to soften. Not disappear completely, just loosen enough to let something else take its place. Trust, quiet, surrender, and that's where this moment begins to shift. So whatever you're holding tonight, you don't have to keep holding it. You don't have to carry it through the night. You don't have to take it with you into your sleep. You can give it to God, not later, not when you feel ready. Right here, give Him the thoughts that won't settle. Give Him the pressure you've been carrying all day. Give Him the part of you that's trying to stay in control. You don't have to organize it first. You don't have to explain it perfectly. Just give it to Him. Lay it down. Lay it down at the foot of the cross. Lay it down beside your bed. Lay it down right here in this moment, because He is here. Closer than you think, more present than you realize. He hasn't stepped away. He hasn't been waiting for you to figure it out first. He's been here the whole time, and He doesn't sleep. So you don't have to stay awake trying to hold everything together. You don't have to keep checking. You don't have to keep thinking. You don't have to keep carrying it. You can give it to Him and rest. Even if part of you still wants to hold on, you can release just a little more. Right now. Because this moment isn't about solving everything. It's about placing everything into hands that won't drop it. Hands that don't get tired. Hands that don't lose control. Hands that don't let go. So just stay here for one more breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your body soften. You've been carrying enough. You don't have to carry it anymore. And now, let us pray. Father God, as this night settles in, we come before you just as we are, not with everything figured out, not with perfect clarity, not with answers, but with open hands. You already see what we've been carrying, the thoughts that won't slow down, the pressure we've been holding, the quiet fear that keeps returning. Nothing about this is hidden from you. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too unfinished. So tonight, we bring it to you. Not just the easy parts, not just the things we understand, but the things that feel unclear, the things that feel uncertain, the things we don't know how to handle yet. We place all of it into your hands. The pressure to be ready, we release it. The need to control outcomes, we release it. The fear of getting it wrong, we release that too. Even if we don't feel fully ready to let go, we release what we can, right now. Because you go before us. You are already there in what we're stepping into. Before we arrive. Before we understand. Before we feel ready. You are there. And you are with us, right here, in this moment, in this breath, in this quiet. You do not leave. You do not step away. You do not fail. Even when we don't feel strong, you are steady. Even when we don't understand, you are present. Even when we feel uncertain, you are already ahead of us. So tonight, we don't have to carry fear the same way anymore. Not the fear that keeps us awake, not the fear that tightens our chest, not the fear that tells us everything depends on us. We place that in your hands, and God, for the part of us that still feels afraid, we bring that to you too. The part that keeps asking, what if? The part that keeps replaying what could go wrong. The part that feels like it has to stay in control. We don't hide it. We don't push it away. We place it in your hands. And we ask for your peace. Not something overwhelming, not something forced, but something steady, something quiet, something that meets us right where we are. A peace that settles the body, a peace that slows the thoughts, a peace that reminds us we are not alone. And just for a moment, notice your breath. You don't have to control it. You don't have to change it. Just notice it. Has it softened even slightly? That's enough, because this is where something begins to shift, not through effort, not through control, but through release. God, we let go of needing to feel fully ready. We let go of needing to understand everything. We let go of needing to understand everything, of trying to carry tomorrow before it arrives. And we trust that when we step into it, you will already be there. In the conversations, in the decisions, in the moments we don't feel prepared for. You will be there. You will not leave us. You will not fail us. You will not abandon us. So we do not have to be afraid. Even if we feel uncertain, we are not alone. Even if we feel weak, we are not unsupported. Even if we don't see the way clearly, we are still being led. And that is enough for this moment. So tonight, we rest. Not because everything is solved, but because everything is solved. But because everything is no longer in our hands. Take another breath, slow, easy. Let your shoulders drop just a little more. Let your body follow what your spirit has already done. You've released it. You've placed it in His hands, and He is holding it. Nothing has been lost. Nothing has been overlooked. Nothing has slipped through. So there is nothing left you need to carry tonight. Nothing left you need to solve. Nothing left you need to prepare. Just stay here and let that truth settle into your body. God, as we rest tonight, we trust that you are still working, arranging what we cannot see, preparing what we cannot see, preparing what we do not understand, opening what we cannot force. You are already ahead of us. So we don't have to rush. We don't have to strive. We don't have to stay awake trying to figure everything out. We can rest fully. And as sleep comes, we ask that your peace covers every part of us. Our mind, let it quiet. Our body, let it release. Our heart, let it soften. And even in our sleep, let your presence remain. Guard our rest. Fill our dreams with something lighter, something calmer, something steady. And when we wake, let us wake with strength. Not forced strength, not pressured strength, but a quiet confidence that we are not walking into tomorrow alone. Because you are already there, and you are with us. So tonight, we let go, we release, we rest in you. Amen. And now, you don't have to pick anything back up. You don't have to go back to holding it the way you were before. Just stay here for a moment longer. And if it helps, you can picture this. Everything you were carrying, everything that felt heavy, everything that kept returning to your mind, see it in your hands. Not all at once, just the pieces that felt the heaviest. And notice how tightly you've been holding them. How your hands almost forgot how to relax. But right now, you don't have to grip like that anymore. Slowly, just begin to open your hands, not forcing it, not rushing it, just letting your fingers loosen a little at a time. And as you do, you're not losing anything. You're placing it into hands that can actually hold it. Hands that don't get tired. Hands that don't shake. Hands that don't drop what you give them. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. Not the future, not the pressure, not the weight of everything working out perfectly. That was never yours to hold. And maybe now you can feel the difference, even if it's small. The space that starts to open up when you stop gripping. The lightness that begins to return when you're no longer bracing. You don't have to take it back. You don't have to check on it. You don't have to make sure it's being handled, because it is. Fully, completely. And you are still here, still breathing, still held, still cared for. Nothing about you has been overlooked. Nothing about your situation has been missed. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not on your own. So just let your hands stay open. Let your body follow that same release. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breathing slow. Let your mind stop reaching for what you already placed down. You don't have to carry it anymore, and you don't have to go back. Just stay here, in this space, where you are no longer holding everything together, because you don't have to. Not tonight. And as everything begins to settle, you don't need to hold on to any of this. You don't need to remember every word. You don't need to go back and figure anything out. Just let it stay here. Because tonight, you've already done enough. You showed up. You slowed down. You let something go. And that's more than enough. So as you rest, just let your body sink a little deeper. Let your breathing find its own rhythm. Let your mind stop reaching for tomorrow, because it's already being held, and you don't have to carry it anymore. If this moment gave you even a small sense of peace, you can always come back here, to this space, to this quiet. And if you feel led to stay connected, you can stay with grace in your quiet. Not as something you have to do, but as a place you can return to when you need to breathe again. And if there's someone in your life who's been carrying something heavy, you can share this with them, just so they know they're not alone either. Now, you don't need to do anything else, just rest. Let sleep come naturally, and trust that while you rest, God is still holding everything you placed in His hands. Nothing is lost, nothing is forgotten. You are safe, you are held, you are not alone. So just stay and let the quiet carry you.